What it do, YouTube? It's SS, and I'm back with another video on this one right here. This one right here. Well, let me tell you about this one. I wanted to try out a Pokemon called Dedenne. And to be honest, no, I didn't really want to try it out. I didn't have a team to run, to be honest. These battles were done on my Twitch, so link in the description if you do want to go follow and watch them happen in real time. Link in the description. Go follow the Twitch. But my Twitch mod had came in, and then he was all like, "Yo, run Dedenne," and I was started out as a joke. Then next thing you know, we created this team, and the team went pretty positive, regardless. So I'm just gonna showcase a couple of sets. I think it's two sets, and yeah, just make a little video since I haven't made a video in a long time. So if you do like the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good jazz. But yeah, as we do see, and I do want to make sure to say that you, I think in this meta you want Bubble Jelly just because of the Vigoroth, the Clodsires, and all that good stuff that has super effective against or neutral damage with the bubbles where Hex is resisted. So yeah, as they do end up trying to catch here, they do catch on their Poliwrath, which is pretty good for them, but we are going to be able to make it to a Shadow Ball here. As now I'm going to get into the commentary, so if you do like the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will get to you guys back at the end of the video. But as we do see that we do go for the Shadow Ball, they have no shield, so at this point I come into my Credentially. I can let this go through. If it's a Rock Slide, that is fine. Body Slam's not going to be enough to KO. I am at the Rock Slide, so I'm just going to tap it. Could have probably farmed down, but I'm just going to go ahead and throw the move and take that win, as we do end up winning the first game. Now we're gonna hop into the next battle. We're gonna see Credilli into Charjabug, and this is pretty neutral because the X's are super effective as they do swap into a Vigoroth. So I counter swap into my Bubble Jelly. As you can see, these bubbles are already starting to add up, looking like it's a Surf, and that is the reason why I say that Bubble Jelly is probably better in this meta, especially because of those Glidegars and stuff that could be super effective. You never know. Mandibuzz is neutral with the bubbles, so just like Vigoroth here. And as we do take another Rock Slide, I am gonna throw here just on bad timing, just because I'm at double moves, and I don't expect them to shield, which they don't. And now I'm gonna go ahead and go for the bait, but at this point, I really didn't need have to bait here because I'm gonna make it. I'm not always gonna make it to the Shadow Ball, but I do this cheeky move where I go ahead and try to catch the move on Credilli, which I end up catching a Surf, which is pretty good for me. Now I am going to be able to throw the Grass Knot at this point. I'm just going to go ahead and let this go through. No, I don't. I'm going to go ahead and shield, and we get baited. And they come um into their Charger Bug, but unlucky for them, they're not going to catch anything but a Rock Slide. Some rocks to the face, so they are going to be able to get KO'd here at that point. Now I am going to go ahead and let this go through. If it's Shadow Ball, so be it. It's going to be able to take out. Now at this point, I just come into the Dedenne, get to this. I could just shield this. Don't really have to shield, but I'm just going to go ahead and shield. Probably should have let it go just to see how much a Shadow Ball does from this range, or how much damage it does, just for science, right? But either way, we're gonna be able to discharge and take that second game. Now we're gonna hop into the next battle. We're gonna see Credilli into a Mandibuzz, and this is where I'm saying that we need that the bubble damage. And another thing too for this Skeldurges. If I'm mispronouncing that, my bad. I don't mean to. But either way, I'm gonna do one bubble, and then I'm gonna throw the move. Now at this point, they are gonna bring back into their Mandibuzz, as they did try to nuke me with a Shadow Ball up against my Jelly, but we did end up shielding this, so we are down the shield, which is not very good for us. But either way, we are going to be able to make it to multiple surfs here before they do throw a move, or they're just over farming. Now they end up swapping on me, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna go for a surf here. Hopefully they end up shielding here, and they do end up shielding. So now I'm gonna switch into my Credilli, and Credilli's gonna be able to take whatever here. I'm hoping it's the Spirit Shackle, but it's not the Spirit Shackle. It is a Frenzy Plant. Frenzy Plant actually does a lot of damage, as you can see. Now I'm gonna be able to get to the Rock Slide here. I throw on Scene P on Cap Time, Bap Time. My bad. I know I said I was gonna say it, but I forget sometimes. So excuse me if I do end up forgetting for saying the Bap Time. Now I am gonna switch into my Dedenne as my Credilli does go down. Now I am gonna start shielding up here, and I make it to a play rough here, and this is gonna be enough to KO this Decidueye. Now at this point, dark pulses are gonna be super effective. I thought I needed to play rough at this point, and this game was looking pretty bad for us. But now, guess what? It is looking really good for us, and we end up winning that game, that third game. So now as we hop into the next battle, we're gonna see Credilli into Skeledirge, and this is actually pretty good for the Credilli, to be honest. And then they swap into a Dragonair, and the Dragonair is gonna either get hit with the rock slide, or they're gonna have to shield, and in this case they do end up letting it go through, which is fine with me. Now I am gonna try to make it to a play rough here, as we do make it to a play rough. I don't expect them to shield at this point, and they don't. So now they're gonna come back into their skeletons. They are gonna be able to get a lot of farm here, but no, they end up choosing to throw their energy, which is pretty good for me. So now I can actually come into my Jellicent here. Do I go come Jellicent? I do come for Jellicent. Now I am gonna go shield this, hoping it is the shadow ball and that we made a correct call. And we did make a correct call. And now in the bank is a Cafable, and this Cafable is looking really tough for us. So I don't know how we're gonna win this, but we do end up getting the bait, and they do end up shooting the bait, which is really good for us. We let the move go through, which is a Moonblast, so it does massive damage, as the meter mash would be resisted because of the water typing on Jelly. But either way, we are going to go ahead and shield this probably potential meter mash. It is the meter mash. I do make it to the Shadow Ball. I throw on bad timing, just because I don't know if they would have made it to move there or not. But either way, I throw on bad timing, and I let a free incinerate go through, but the rock slide is going to be enough to KO, and we're going to be able to take that fourth game. Now, as we hop into the next battle, I think this is the last battle of the fourth, or the first set. Now, as we do see a charger bug once again, and I'm just going to start over farming. And I see that they don't throw, so I choose to throw, but this is not CMP. I don't think it's not CMP, and they end up catching a rock slide on their Dragalge, and this is not looking good for me, to be honest. So I am gonna go ahead and switch into my Dedenne. They don't make it to a potential gunk shot, so I am gonna go ahead and throw the play rough now, as I do let the Aqua Tail go through. They are gonna sack their Dragalge, which is pretty good, and now I am gonna be able to bring back out the Charger Bug, and the Charger Bug is going to be throwing X Scissors, and I shield up an X Scissor, which is pretty silly of me. Um, but I expect them to shield here as well. So I am going to go ahead and let this go through, hoping I can make it to another play rough here, or hope that they end up shielding here. And in this case, they don't end up shielding, which is not looking pretty good for us. But I do need to get this bubble down. So I'm going to try to come into Jelly and bubble down. Oh yeah, now I remember this game. And they end up blind throwing discharge for some reason. And because of that, now I'm shielding X Scissors, which I probably should have tried to catch, but I don't end up catching. And in the back is a Jellicent, and this Jellicent is just going to wreck my life at this point. So I do try to catch, and mistakenly did catch with a Pokemon that had energy. So that is my mistake. So now I am going to go ahead and top left here, and we're going to leave. And we're going to go ahead and take a 4-1. Unfortunately, in the last game, we do end up losing, but we do go 4-1 in that first set. And this is actually the first set that I did try the team, and this will be the second set. So I do just have the first two sets that I did try. Tomorrow's video will have a team in Ultra League, very bulky Pokemon, triple, not triple XL, but double XL. Two are level 50 Pokemon, and one of them is just bulky. As we do see a Wish Cash into our Credilli, I am going to go for the Grass Knot here. Probably could have baited, because they're probably most likely going to shield, right? And now I am going to overfarm here. At this point, I'm going to shield, but most likely this is going to be the Mud Bomb now, and they do end up throwing the Mud Bomb. So I'm going to go for the Grass Knot here. They do end up shielding once again at this point. I choose to let it go. No, I choose the shield, and this time is the correct call. Just going to go ahead and throw right away, get this Wish Cash out the way. They come into a Skarmory. I have two answers for the Skarmory, so I am going to go ahead and switch out. Now at this point, we do bring out the Charger Bug, and this is actually looking really good for us now, because we have the Dende up against the Skarmory, and the Skarmory doesn't have too much energy, but I thought I was gonna make it to the surf, but we don't make it to the surf, which is pretty bad. Now I do come into Credilli. and forcing them to throw, which they do end up throwing. Now I am gonna start trying to overfarm here. Actually, I end up going for the CMP here. Risky, to be honest, but we do end up getting the CMP there. Now I need to get to 2 discharges here before they get to Brave Bird. I'm not too sure what they were doing here. If they had Sky Attack and Flash Cannon or what, but they let me make it to the next move, and we're gonna actually be able to take that first game in the second set. As we do hop into the next battle, we're gonna see Credilli into Dragonair, and Dragonair is not really good for our team, but even up against the Dende, those body slams do hurt a lot. So I am gonna go ahead and throw the rock slide, switch out into my Jellicent and see what they want to do here. I'm gonna go ahead and let go the first move, hoping I can get to a Shadow Ball here. And they end up actually switching out, which is okay for me. Now I'm gonna go ahead and start throwing. They switch out into a Carbane, so I'm gonna start throwing out these serves, and we're gonna make it to multiple serves here. I do end up throwing here. I end up shielding here just because I know I can get at least 2 more serfs off, and plus the bubbles are starting to add up as well. So I do like the bubble damage. At this point, I'm not going to be able to farm down because we're too far low. But I am going to go ahead and throw, and they do end up sacking their Pokemon. Now their Dragonair is going to be able to farm us down. Come into my Dedenne, and this is where you see that Dedenne is kind of a mid Pokemon because it has no bulk. And now I have to end up shielding this next move, which is not really good for me. And now we're down shields, and they make it to another move, and we're going to end up losing this game because I lost track of how much energy this Dragonair had. So I am just gonna go ahead and concede in top left, and we're gonna end up losing that next game. As we do see Charger Bug into our Credilli, and once again, this is very neutral, but I do believe that Credilli has the upper hand. And we're going to be able to take the first X Scissor. As you guys do see, it does do a little bit more than half damage, but it is okay as we are going to go ahead and grab a shield there. I expect them to try to catch or something. Maybe I go for the extra, but they come into a Jellicent, and I'm just going to go for the grass knot. And at this point, I make it to a rock slide, and this is the Baptide. So now at this point, I can go ahead and let this go through. And I think I just can come into my Dedenne, farm this thing, shield, and farm down all the way. Even if this is a surf, this is fine with me. I do believe I could just shield and farm down completely. At this point, they know the game is over. They top left, then they making them top left. As we do see Credilli into a Licky Tongue. And this is, I don't know, Licky Tongue is really bulky. I don't like this matchup just because of how bulky the Licky Tongue is. They are going to be able to throw Power Whip here, which is fine with me. But if Mark farm up a little bit extra energy here, I go for the Grass Knot here. Now, I do have to start shielding if they do end up throwing, what's it called? A Power Whip. But I don't end up shielding. And now at this point, I think I come into Dedenne once again, starting to try to get some farm. What do I do? Let this go through? No, I end up shielding. Probably should have tried to catch the body slam, but we did not catch the body slam. As they do come into a Skeldridge, I'm going to throw one move. And now at this point, I should swap out. But I am staying in, and I get to another discharge. This is really bad. I should end up swapping out. And I think because I swapped out late, I am unfortunately going to end up losing this game. Spoiler alert. As they do have a Charger Bug in the back, and now we are hard walled by this Charger Bug, and there's nothing we can really do here as they do shield the Shadow Ball. And now I'm trying to make it desperately to another move, but they throw. This discharge is going to be enough to KO, and now they can safely get to 2. They end up throwing discharge, which is a little weird. And then I throw in bad timing there, giving them a free fast move. But yeah, the game's over. So we end up losing this next game as well. And yeah. But we do go positive here in this last game, as we are going to see. Once again, Credilli up against a Charger Bug, and this time we end up sneaking the move in. We are going to go ahead and let the move go through, as we always do. I am going to make it to the rock slide here, and I could potentially throw the next rock slide here. They end up swapping out. I make it to Grass Knot. They end up shielding, and now shields are all down. So at this point, it looks like that then they're just going to be able to sweep. Hopefully, whatever's in the back is weak to Dedenne as well. As we are going to be able to throw these Shadow Balls at these Poliwrath. Poliwrath is going to be able to make it to another move, but it shouldn't be really threatening here as it is just the Icy Wind. Now I'm going to be able to overfarm just a little bit, make it to a Shadow Ball, just go ahead and throw it. We are debuffed, so the surf is not going to be enough. They are going to come back into their charge bug, and at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and let this go through. X Scissors is gonna be enough to KO. I just come into my my Dedenne, and in the back there's the Dragonite. Dragonite is just going to absolutely get wrecked here by the Dedenne, and the Charger Bud just comes back in. I am going to go ahead and no shield this. At this point, I don't really have to shield anything because the X Scissors are not going to be able to do enough damage, as you guys can see here. X Scissors just going to doing damage, but not really doing damage, as we are not bulky with the Dedenne, but that is something that Dedenne does not need to shield, and we combo play here to get the surf off to take this next game, and we're going to be able to win with a 2 shield flex. So if you guys did like the 2 shield flex, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good jazz. And if you did like the video, also like, comment, subscribe, all that good jazz, as we are at currently 74 subscribers, really close to 100. So if you guys can make that for me, that would mean the world to me. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you guys on the next video.